we're solely going to focus on how to divide complex numbers. So how can you simplify 6 over 7i? What would you actually do in this example? The best thing you could do to do away with the complex number at the bottom is to actually multiply the numerator and the denominator of the fraction by I. So numerator by I, denominator by I. So this is going to be equal to 6i over 7i squared. So the final answer is going to be 6i over negative 7, since I squared is equal to negative 1, as I explained earlier in my previous video. But if you know you didn't watch, I'll place a link in the description below. Just tap on the link and watch. So how can you convert 2 plus 6i divided by 3i into its standard form? So first, we need to get rid of the imaginary number at the bottom. So let's multiply the top and the bottom by I. So numerator by I and denominator by I too. So that will give us 2i plus 6i squared divided by 3i squared. But since I squared is equal to negative 1, then we can replace. So that will be equal to 2i plus negative 6 all divided by negative 3. So the final answer is going to be 2i minus 6 all divided by negative 3. But we're asked to actually express it in its standard form. So its standard form is just basically a plus bi. So our answer is supposed to be expressed in this form. So expressing our answer here in this form is actually going to be negative 6 over negative 3 minus 2i over negative 3. So basically this is going to be negative 6 over negative 3 will give us positive 2. So positive 2 minus 2i over negative 3. So this is the answer. So go ahead and rationalize the denominator, get rid of the radical and imaginary number. That's 3 over root 2i. So in this example, yes, what we have to do is just to multiply the numerator and denominator by root of 2i. So that's going to be times root of 2i over root of 2i. So that is actually going to be 3 root 2i divided by 2i squared. But I squared is actually negative 1. So that is actually going to be 3 root 2i divided by negative 2. But actually expressing this in its standard form is actually going to be 0 minus 3 root 2i divided by 2. That's simply a plus bi in this form. So this is the answer. So go ahead and try this. 10 divided by 2 minus 7i. So what would you do in this example? The best thing you could do is to multiply the numerator and the denominator of the fraction by the conjugate of the denominator, that is 2 minus 7i. What is the conjugate of 2 minus 7i? The conjugate of 2 minus 7i is just 2 plus 7i. you simply have to change the sign. So our answer is going to be, you multiply the numerator and denominator. So that will be 10 times 2 minus 7i divided by, 2 plus 7i, 2 plus 7i. So we multiply. So multiplying, we get this to be equal to 10 times 2 give you 20 plus 10 times 7i will give you 70i divided by 2 minus 7i, 2 plus 7i, just difference of two squares. So we actually have to take square of this and square of this. So basically 2 squared will be 4 minus 7i will actually be 7i squared will be 49i squared. 49i squared. So let's simplify further. So that will be 20 plus 70i divided by 4 minus 49i squared. Now we know I squared is actually negative 1. So let's replace that quickly. So that's actually going to be 20 plus 70i divided by 4 plus 49. So let's simplify further. So basically it's going to be 20 plus 70i divided by 4 plus 49 is actually going to give us 53. So writing this in its standard form is actually going to be 20 divided by 53 plus 70 over 53i. So this is the answer. So let's go ahead and try another example. 2 plus 5i divided by 5 minus 6i. So as usual, we actually going to multiply the numerator and denominator by the conjugate of the denominator, and the denominator is actually 5 minus 6i. So we typically going to multiply the numerator and denominator by 5 plus 6i. So let's go ahead and do that. So times 5 plus 6i divided by 5 plus 6i. So that's actually going to be 2 times 5 will give you 10. 2 times 6i will give you plus 12i. 5i times 5 will give you 25i. 5i times 6i will give you plus 30i squared, all divided by, so as usual, 5 minus 6i and 5 plus 6i is actually the difference of two squares. That is to say, a plus b times a minus b is just equal to a squared minus b squared. You understand? So this a and this b, so just take square of them. That will be 25 minus 36i squared. So let's simplify further. So work out like terms here. So 10 minus 30, because I squared is actually negative 1. So 10 minus 30 will give you negative 20. So negative 20. So 12i plus 25i will give you plus 37i divided by, so 25 minus 36, since I squared is just negative 1. So negative become positive here. So 25 plus 36, that's actually going to give you 61. So writing this in its standard form is just basically doing something like negative 20 divided by 61 plus 37i divided by 61. So this is the answer in its standard form. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for watching.